I thought I was out of danger. What is it? What's in front of them? Oh, my God. It's the soldiers of the Atlantic. After hearing the classified information, there's a 5-horseman division, more than 200 people on the march into the Atlantic City. They quickly set up an ambush. The leader of the group is the Taurus girl. Avizi and Avizi. The red-haired bodyguard covered in blood saw a change. Instant big choral gathering. There's the enemy Baron Horseman, with a panicked expression on his face. Shivering, I asked the guard in front of me, the Knight of the Atlantic, why should we withdraw? Listen to here. The red-haired guard no longer respected my superiors. He dares a violent punch in the face of the South, the horse. The Baron must be alive. SA1 liter bright red blood. The red-haired guard yelled at the horse's face. I thought this was a toy. If you want to go. Although SAO is also a famous military advance. He fought hundreds of battles. Now retreat. It's a shame to lose this guy. The Baroness hugged her face with pain and grimaced face. The blood flowed down his chin warm. I've never even hit myself. He was born to live in the silk. Rice with water. Never been on the battlefield before. It's okay to take them out of the market. The red-haired guard threatened the Baron. After all, it is the enemy. Only the way to fight has a chance of survival. If you say any more insulting words, I'll kill you right away. Already said. He drew his sword and directed the army behind him not to be afraid. The enemy has fewer people than us. Line up the soldiers and empty your weapons. He seemed determined to fight to the end. Not afraid of death. Now the Knights of the Atlantic. Also listen to the orders of the armored giant. The two sides of the air roared loudly and attacked. The duel, to clear away the bleak air of the deep forest. It startled the sky, creating a hazy white smoke. Just a basic trick. The noble girl had defeated the soldier. Fresh blood spurts out. He groaned for an hour. Over here. The red-haired guard at Baron's side was no less. A fatal blow of the sword. He had defeated the soldiers of the Atlantic. The soldiers screamed in evil voice. Avenza and the red-haired guard passed each other. Creates a glare of white light. With the wind blowing. Suddenly, they both turned their heads to look at each other. Red-haired guard uses his teeth to grip the horse's reins. Draw the sword. He seems to realize, this is my formidable opponent. He charged straight towards Avena. The horses on both sides are dead. The Atlantic Army won. Avatar with precious clogs. With a sword covered in blood. It's pouring down to the ground. He defeated the red-haired guard. A horse of the owner of the city of Paralysis. Avena said he was a worthy opponent. They don't show fear or cowardice until they die. She appreciates the loyalty of the guards. Unfortunately, we are the enemy. Avatar continues. He led Team 5 to protect the owner very well. You're a real knight. The red-haired guard was lying on the ground, but looks, he still exudes the beauty of a hero. It is worth remembering in the next life. As if to find a plot of land recently buried him. He deserves a place of rest. The soldiers obeyed. The Niu Dai replied. After a catastrophic battle, soldiers clearing the battlefield, lead the enemy to the city, waiting for the owner to deal with it. Now in the capital city of the Atlantic, echoing the voice, Big Liver, dare to smash the Count's horseman. The Baron's horse has been escorted, right in front of the wind to interrogate. Mina stood behind the storm and shouted, Stop pretending. Your plan is to hire an assassin. The kidnap of the owner of the Atlantic City has been revealed. The Baron used to think, those guys dare to sell themselves. He casually pretended to be naive in his countless answers. I don't know what you're talking about. I only serve the father's commands. Count Pulitzer came to visit the nobles. Is the master. You didn't say you spied on us. Mina, with cold eyes. You seem to have seen through the intentions of the Baron. You said you didn't even get it later. She drew her sword against the Buddha's cheek. The Baron's face was dark. There was blood on his cheeks. He was terrified. Answer Asian blood. You're bleeding, by the way. You dare hurt me. Mina leaps out holding a knife next to the Baron's neck. He screamed for help. He sat quietly and said, hands together. Tell me what it's like to go to the Atlantic City after all. The Baroness in blue is wearing a full suit. We just want to find a castle to camp in. And training riders. Mina still held the knife to the horse's neck and asked, what to train riders for? The Baron's response was to help the 4 princes ascend the throne. Liu Feng gave a sinister smile. After all, Ra is a traitor. I don't blame the cities. The Baron's horse was sweating. The story of the Sao royal family can be said to be treason. That position. It was meant to allow princes to sit up. Sei Feng asked next. Let's find out what the situation is in the capital. The Baron continued. The ill king has yet to decide on his successor. Grand Prince. The 2 princes and the 4 princes wanted to fight. Listen to the letter. Your face contains something that's hard to describe. Then give orders. Take him down and lock him up first. As clearly obeyed. The Baron yelled, what's wrong? Not locked up. I am a Viscount. The whole thing can be released. But no, he's still in jail. I'm thinking about it right now. The prince won the throne. I'm afraid the future of the city will be very confusing, Ren. Maybe it's on the rise now. I don't know about the Latinos. At the same time, in the room of Catherine the King of Ding Lan, Catherine and Dazinia are sitting together. Catherine suddenly cry. They don't let me play outside. Even the postman who became the exile master for himself. Also killed. Degina, I have to do something. Degina was also filled with tears. You don't know what to do. I can help my friend. The fork Cather rests her head on the Degina's thigh. But with tears in my eyes, Dalina stroking golden hair. Katarina's smoothness that comforts her. But you can't go on a hunger strike for that. I haven't seen you in a few days, and you've lost weight. Catherine replied. No, it's really bad food they cook. Azina smiled at Katarina's answer. You keep saying that. What's really good? Don't let the real stomach. In a few days, we're going to the Atlantic. You want to come with me? Catharinia replied sadly, my father will not give it to me. And the Catharinia wept again, and tears flowed down the stream. Degina asked if we could sneak away. Catharinia can't answer that. The guards are very close outside. The lake is very clear. My fate has been decided. It's useless to have a fight. Catharinia hated her own fate. You wonder if you should marry Prince Joe. My father said, if anyone is brighter than the prince, you can marry that person. Azina, do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible? Who is comparable to the prince? Will he be the future king? Catharinia tears flow down the net, holding the hands of Degina. It looks like you're expecting it from Degina. Azina hesitated and said that she was brighter than the prince. If I say it's the wind. The casino is red, and you are embarrassed. The wind has nothing to do with me. Azina encouraged Catherine. Catharinia, try it anyway. I'm going to the Atlantic City. Surely he will help. Catharinia was embarrassed to say that. You seem to be glad. Imagine a happy ending for him. The main male of our exile. Move the scene to the capital city of the Atlantic. The sound of the wind. O leader of the beast tribe. I have agreed to our exchange. The 5-year-old said yes. They say they want to meet you for a negotiation. The address is that the Blackwater tells us to choose a date. Nicola brought tea out for the wind. They also contribute ideas together. Save the wind and Taurus 5. This goes like 5. In a few days, you're back in the animal tribe. Buy 500 horses to pull here. And tell the leader of the beast tribe that. Let her choose the time of the meeting. As an expression of our intentions. As 5 clearly stated. Save the wind to think. After spring, the Atlantic had to start in large numbers. Horses are the main means of transportation. It is better to prepare first. Ask your sir. Sir, I heard you came here specifically to study. The master replied, yes. The rapid development of the Atlantic City. In recent months, it can be said that, a miracle of the Black Sea. We also want to learn. With a serious face, he continued. You want to learn? I have no idea. As confidential things, we have no way to teach you. It turns out that I can't say anything loud. Liu Feng Tong, so you follow Nicole. To learn to deal with domestic matters first. The nun bent over the promotion of Liu Feng. I told you, Siza and Nunla went out to talk. Sira respectfully said that the nun will bother you later. Nicole replied, I don't think you should. Don't worry, I will guide you. LC, bring a report to Liu Feng's desk. Boss, this is the latest report from the drug lab. It's hard to answer and ask again. That's right. How's the bridge going in the river? LC on the handle of the lollipop is half finished. It's ready. Just waiting to officially start construction. The library has also opened. And choose an address for the newsroom. Liu Feng said loud, the secret level of entropy raised to level A. Save Feng aesthetic. Newspapers are important intermediaries. The importance of transferring news. There's an inflammatory text. You can also control public opinion and manipulate people's hearts. This is the important technique of security, is that YouTube can't get out. Ellie replied, I remember. Liu Feng continued, there's more. The person in charge of the daily operation of the newspaper. Have you found enough? Ellie replied according to the boss's request. The editor of the newspaper must know the writing. There are not many such people in the Atlantic. Probably recruiting now. It's now turning to the weavers of the Atlantic. The workers are reveling in weaving cloth. Then a worker with gray hair, wearing a green apron, speaking up. Off work. Everybody pack up and go home. GA girls of the bear tribe often think. I finished 4 pieces early today. The speed is faster. Continue like this. You can earn more at the end of the month. The textile factory workers are glad to go home after a tiring day. Jieba just walked and hummed the song. You think? On the way home to buy 2 meat dumplings as a reward for weaving an extra pile of fabric. Suddenly echoing along the street, everyone's cry quickly. Hurry up and be late. It's rare to see such a good thing. People don't know from here. Follow each other straight down the road. Jieba is confused. She doesn't understand what's going on. She asked a handsome guy. Blue hair is running follow the caravan. What happened? Why is everyone running towards that? The guy shouted. The library and the newspaper that the owner built. It has been opened. Now the newspaper is recruiting literate workers. I heard the salary is very high. Everybody's going there fast to try it out. Talk to Jieba too. Suddenly, he forgot the main task. I'm not telling you anymore. If you are late, there will be no loss. Jieba thinks employees are literate. I don't like reading books like that. Maybe you can get hired. But her legs are inconvenient and her body is weak. If I'm not around, something could happen. AI still goes to buy dumplings first. Jieba came home at night. You say, Noru. You're home. Nozu is sitting in bed reading a book. It's so good to hear you call. Gaba kindly went to visit his sister. Nozu, there's nothing wrong with you at home. Nozu replied, What are you so worried about? It's just sitting in one place, and nothing gets boring. Gaba said softly bored. She asked again if you want to. When you are about to talk, you hesitated to think again. I can't go to work with her. But what if she's rejected due to her poor health? She'll be heartbroken. Gaba thinks of his brother getting a Samsung body when he goes to work. A disabled child who also works for the owner. How do you work if you can't even go? That's funny. Noju saw that her sister was going to say something, but hesitated. I asked you why. Jieba smiled and replied no sao. Jieba continues. I bought you these 2 buns today. I've been hungry all day. Eat it hot. Nozu replied, Yes, you have the cake I bought yesterday. You must be hungry coming home from work. Lava closed her eyes angrily. I bought it for you, and you didn't eat it. That's it. Except Jieba knows that my sister loves me very much. Went to work very hard, but still buy your favorite food for you. Noju smiled and replied, I am not hungry. You're tired all day. Eat. As soon as I finished speaking, the noise echoed from the Noju belly. Jieba yelled at me. My stomach is aching. This sound echoes again, but not from Noju belly. That comes from the abdomen Jieba. Jieba laughed awkwardly. I'm not laughing shy for you. Come here. Jieba can't help but laugh out loud, haha. The 2 sisters ate the cake together. Noju gave me a dumpling and said, I can't eat all 2 of them, 1 for each of you. Jieba handed out the cake and landed. It's so out of my way. Just ate Noju and asked Jieba, Do you want to go to the city to work? With your ability, he will definitely be a great leader. Jieba just devoured the dumpling and replied, You only know how to fight. What can the Lord do to look at us? I feel good now. Jieba thought, if I work in the government, then I don't have time to take care of the Noju like I do now. Apparently Nosu guessed. The real reason. I refuse a good job like this. She said sadly, I'm sorry to bother you. Jieba banging hand down Noju pillow. She ran back and stroked my shiny hair. And smelled Noju on my forehead and said, we are sisters. Snow seems to feel the love that Gaba has for me. She hesitated to speak. Sister. Jieba held Noru in my lap and continued to talk. There is no such thing as involvement between us. According to the memory of her sister practice Bear Jieba, it was a dark night. The blizzard is so big. The wind blows cold to the bone. Catch them, don't let them escape. It was the sound of many people chasing after him. Two sisters Jieba and Nodu. Noru on his sister's back. Running nonstop on a snowy night. Although tired, my mouth is still breathing, but it doesn't stop. Jieba gets carried by sister, on a nervous face, urging Noru to let her down. You run away. But Nozu firmly refused. No, I'm sure you'll take me away. Start those slave traders. Two people running forever. Finally came a wooden house. Nozu put her sister Jieba in high fever. Lie down. The blanket said softly, our sister is safe. My feet hurt because I ran in the snow for a long time. It's red and trembling. But you're still there to encourage your sister. You have to persevere. Then I fell down by the bed. The next day, experiencing a Jieba sleep completely out of fever. I want you to get up and shout a Noju and finally get well. Stayed all night by the bed. I see you're cured, replied the smiling face. Good sister. But too tired with the wound from the tormented leg. You finally can't stand it anymore. I didn't say anything. I fell to the ground and fainted. A baggy cry. Jieba screaming. The Ru returned. At the moment, Jieba looks at her sister in a wheelchair. Open the book read. Jieba face full of sadness. So later. Noju's legs are gone. Feeling cold for too long. I can only sit or lie down every day. The body is also getting weaker. Remember the reason. Jieba is suddenly more determined. I seriously promised my brother no. Don't you worry, I'll try to work. We'll be in a better house. There will be meat to eat every day. No, I like to read books. I will buy a lot of books for you. When Nozu heard her sister say that, she raised her head. She told Jieba, I really don't want to stay home forever. I want to go out looking for a job. Jieba answered no. You're worried about the economic situation in your home, right? You don't have to worry. Later, the salary at the textile department will be higher and higher. Enough for the two of us to pay in Atlantic City. When I heard Jieba say that, I shook my head. Though I can't walk. I know you are worried about your health. But work like writing can still be done. Then suddenly, Noru turned around. Take my sister's hand and pray. I'm begging you. I'm at home all the time. I don't want to be a useless person forever. Noju Gaba looked at her sister. With anxious and loving eyes. As I see in your eyes the determination. In the end, Gaba had to compromise. Put your hand up and rub your sister's head. On the way home, I heard that the newspaper that became the owner opened. Currently recruiting people who can read. Write if you want to go. Nozu sounds like a lot of fun. For laughing that curled into a crescent shape. Two her hands held up for excitement. Honestly, I really want to go. Thank you. Jieba also gently laughed at her sister, so happy. The next day at the Atlantic. That's what you're doing. The wind stood up and said hello. To become a master. The wind told them. There's no need to celebrate. Is there anyone suitable for the position of the owner? One of the two replied, I haven't found the owner yet. Interviewer number 37, come in. Someone else calls out loud for the outside candidate to hear. From outside Gieba huge carries sister on her back. You feel bigger than the others. The two people at the entrance were a little nervous. The Gieba explained that. I brought my sister to the interview. In the direction of voice, come back with Mina. Mina looked at the person who had just come in and said to the wind, the owner of that tall bear is called Gieba. He was chosen as a guard. I told the boss before. The one who is carried behind her is her sister. She can't walk. If you hear that, tell me. The blonde worker I interviewed this time. Everybody rest. The Kier immediately agreed. Yes, Lord. Then give me a copy of the letter. My sister put me in the chair. I think he's the interviewer. Not from the bottom. So it's a little stressful sitting. The look on the two sisters' faces didn't look good. Laugh softly with a comforting voice. Ha, don't worry. Already said. Say Feng sit down, curl lips, smile standard smile. And continue to say, we don't eat human flesh either. Tell me about yourself first. Yes, master. No do stress, grab tight skirt. But also quickly respond. My name is No Do. It's a bear. 15 years old. To apply for the position of editor of the newspaper. Behind her is my sister. She's working in a textile factory. Save the wind and pick up a piece of paper. I'll ask you again, and can you write? Okay, there are some rare words that I don't know. Hear that save the wind without hesitation. Give me a paper and a pen. Then make the request clear. The editor's job is to review the manuscript. You also have to know how to write. Let's do a little test. The theme is the Atlantic. Write an article for me to see. See how your writing is. Noju reached for the pen and paper. Yes, master. No, do carefully write every rustling sound. The rustling echoed. Gieba is standing next to you, not worrying. A while after the paper is finished. I picked it up and read it carefully. A cold silence makes you nervous. Gieba put her hand on her sister's shoulder to reassure. After a while of reading No Do, the wind finally spoke. My writing level is not good. Not enough to take the position of editor. Now give me two choices. 1. I've been learning for a while how to write. The salary is only 1-3. Wait until you can do it alone. Give me a month's salary as a silver coin. That you can refuse. Here so No do immediately glad. 2 roses, I chose the first one. To become a master. He looked at the girl in front of him gently. I tell you, you can go to work tomorrow and go straight to court. I will teach you the basics. Nozu happy reply. I understand that I am the boss. Suddenly, Nozu stopped laughing. She lowered her face and asked in a low voice. Why did you choose me as your boss? I can't walk. I can't go anywhere without your help. Noju Gieba whispered her name. He looked at her and said nothing. Then suddenly stood up and called for Berth, waiting at the entrance. He went back to the castle to find Nicola, number 60, in the closet. Get what's in there, come here. Then he walked to the chair of Noju. Suddenly squatting down made her startled. To become a master. Say Fang Pa's little girl gently squeezed. Are you comforting? Let me see if I can cure you. Is there a feeling? My face is a little red. The wind whispered. It's not like the leg nerve is completely damaged. The animal's body in this world is very healthy. Maybe I can be cured. Then you talk to Noju. When you go outside, wear shoes to keep your feet warm. Every day foot massage betimes morning, noon, evening. Let the blood flow more. This is likely to help. Let your feet feel. I'll remember. The owner is no longer happy. Glad to see the opportunity to walk again. Can't hide in a smile with eyes. Nicola went to the newsroom at the same time. You speak up. Our boss has brought the goods. Work hard and open the box. In the box took out a strange car. Make Noju look surprised. I letter O mouth letter A. The owner this is. Let me sit up and try it. I can't wait to get in that strange car. You can't help but scream for an hour. Give a little girl no do. Try pushing 2 wheels with 2 hands. Noju do as Liu Fong says. We'll underthrust that moves. She screamed, she moved, and she moved. To become a master. Laughing, of course. This is a wheelchair. It's designed for people who can't get around. I will answer the question now because I chose you. The value of human beings. It's not just the feet. I can't walk, but it shows value. It's even more amazing than a lot of healthy people. Others have wisdom. Even if that person can't move, we will still recruit that person. Nozu listened to these words. Her eyes lit up, and she sat in a wheelchair. Hands clenched up and down, determination. I understand that I am the boss. I'm sure you'll work hard. It does not meet the expectations of the owner. Gaba in front of what he just did for his sister. She bent over, hands on her chest full of glass. To become a master. Gieba, thank you for what you did for Noju. I will listen to whatever you say. In return. Then you come to my office. I am missing a guard. Mina will arrange specific work for you. Take the initiative to speak out. Gieba immediately listened to. A few days later, at the entrance to the office. Into the Atlantic, please ride the chariot with Mina. The boss has arrived at the newspaper. Prepare yourself from the carriage. I saw the kids coming. Call it master. He stepped down, followed by Mina. Hands out, turn each child's head. Everybody, come on in. The kids are having fun. Blush, they replied in unison. Yes, Lord. Inside the Atlantic City newsroom, the tension of the air. Anxiety strokes on the faces of the people in the room. I sat down and saw the scene. Your face is reluctant to raise your head. I don't eat people either. Tell everyone to come today. There is a job for everyone. The people in the room immediately breathed. The face shows a bright smile. Save the wind and pick up a piece of paper. It says 4 words in the late Atlantic. Continue to assign tasks. You said Rao's mission is to sell these things. This is called the newspaper inside, and there's a total of 500 sheets. Each sheet sold 2. Everyone sold a piece. You can get a reward of 1. Everyone in the room heard the salary from Liu Feng. My eyes glowed. Some people don't even believe me. If you sell 1 sheet, there are 500. So it's not like we're going to have 500 stars. Master, you are telling the truth. Of course, it's true. And more than that, it's not just today. But 1 day later, people can also get newspapers to sell. Speaking of which, I was born with a team. I brought 2 large bowls full of white cake. The hot smoke is still rising. Is the bid? Everyone is shouting, it smells so good. Save the wind now. Sat down at the desk of the newspaper. Hand knit together against the table. Behind is Mina. You go on. After that, everyone's breakfast will be taken care of by the newspaper. There are a lot of bids. Everyone in the newsroom was moved to tears. The face is also excited. Thank you for being master. We will try to sell out the newspaper. Then open 2 hands to remind me. What are you doing there? It's not too late to eat before you go to work. Yes, the crowd replied. In the Atlantic City, the sky is still beautiful today. So blue and white clouds. Beneath the streets of Atlantic City, rouse voices echoed the road. Sell the newspaper. Sell the newspaper, the first edition of the Atlantic. The owner wanted to build a bridge on the river. The state management information. The exciting news of the Atlantic City is up. Newspaper of the Atlantic. The sound of knives caught the attention of a couple. Walking on the road, the girl turned to the boy Leon. What is newspaper? To become a master again, create something new, strange, SAO. The girl who asked was Lisa, and she was Leon's fiancée. I also turned to you. I don't know exactly. I just want to do a job that the owner has created. Or buy a copy. Its beautiful girl quickly meets. She called a kid who was selling kir and said, "How many newspapers do you want to buy?" Boy Kir recognized the girl, quickly answered, "Yes, a single sheet is only 2 pieces." Lisa paid for the boy and read the newspaper. This is a newspaper. It's very interesting. The League just read it. After Leon became deputy, the police picked me up. Strange new things that have been seen in recent months. That's more than 10 years ago. There's a headline in the newspaper right now. Building a bridge in the river. Lisa read this and called Leon. "Leon, look at this manager." He said the owner. He wanted to build a big bridge over the river. It's such a big river, build a bridge over it. Why is it okay? Leon looked at the news. He put his hand on his chin. If you are the owner, maybe building a bridge on the river will work. Lisa heard that and sighed. Those who have little enjoyment know that it is impossible. Then she was quickly caught up in other news. Read it aloud to Leon next door. Interesting news here. She also wrote that Ellie had over 300 lollies. There's also a lot of trees that are limited edition. The most expensive ones are 10 pieces of silver. It's hard to imagine. Leon stands by you. Isba part helpless, 7 part pampered advised her. I told you it was interesting, but don't believe it. Lisa heard you say that. Thy eyes glanced at him and teased. So next time we meet, I'll have to ask Miss Ellie. Lisa then went on to read another story. Suddenly she screamed. I am advertising in this newspaper up to 50 a day. There will be real newspapers. Lord, this price is too high. Leon put his hand on his chin, thinking, maybe the New Yorkers want to do business. No reputation will think. Somewhere else in the Atlantic City. At the clothing store available. Of our Togi to Togi unconsciously sighed. Toji, 2 hands pressed against the blue wood table. Sighing and thinking. It's getting harder and harder to do business. We've cut the price a few times and no visitors. If it goes down, I will go bankrupt. Suddenly, the familiar alarm sounded again. Sell the newspaper. Sell the newspaper. When the first newspaper of the Atlantic City, a 2D. When Toji heard it, he stood up and reported. New clothes that the owner made. Toji, hurry up. Go and buy me a newspaper. Yours is too. Toji, a hand delivered out to money. Hold the newspaper in one hand.